this afternoon, the second day of July 2023, Sunday afternoon. Our accident investigators are on the scene of a fatal crash in East Harris County. The location is the 4200 block of West Cedar Bayou Lynchburg, which is in our District 3 patrol area. We received this call shortly after 1 p.m. This call involves an adult male driving a white GMC SUV. Also inside the vehicle was a passenger, reported to be a 3-year-old male. We are unclear on the seating location right now of the male, but we know so far that he was not restrained in the child seat. Based on witness information, the GMC traveled westbound at a high rate of speed at the 4200 block of West Cedar Bayou Lynchburg Road, and its driver was speeding and failed to maintain vehicle operation in a single lane and ended up leaving the roadway and then veering across the lanes into the south ditch. So right now the vehicle at uncontrolled rest is impacting a power pole or telephone pole. CenterPoint Energy is on scene to assess the damage. The male driver of the GMC was ejected from the vehicle, so it's assumed that he was not restrained. He is a 40-year-old Hispanic male. He sustained minor injuries and is suspected of being impaired. Unfortunately, the 3-year-old child passed away inside the vehicle on scene. So we're treating this case as a possible DWI with child passenger, maybe felony murder if the DA's office representatives agree that the probable cause has been met. There are reports that there was a vehicle that exited from one of these residential complexes north of the roadway, and we're looking into that to see if there's any validity to that claim. However, the primary contributing factor that caused this wreck will be speeding on the driver of the GMC and, of course, his possible state of intoxication. And this crash will remain under investigation by the Harris County Sheriff's Office Vehicular Crimes Division. If anybody in this area has any information about any possible vehicle that exited from the residence complex on the north side of the roadway, please call our investigation team, 713-274-7400.
So what was the source of the information about the speeding? Was there witnesses?
There were witnesses that reported a high rate of speed. Also, some of the witnesses had some like doorbell type camera video to show our investigators, and it corroborated that the GMC traveled at a speed higher than the other vehicles on the roadway, which is assumed to be at or near the speed limit.
But it appears he was in the
westbound lane.
In the right lane, not.
Right, it's a 2-lane roadway, so east-west, and he traveled westbound on the roadway.
No evidence he was passing vehicles or anything like
There's
that?
There's no evidence right now, and he did not claim to be passing a vehicle. He was able to talk to our investigator, and he's, from what I can tell, cooperating with the investigation. So we definitely will look into his state of impairment and intoxication, and that will be a major factor into which level of charge we file.
What time did this happen?
This was reported to us at about 1:04, 1:05. And right now we've got both the east and westbound lanes at the 4200 block of West Cedar Bayou Lynchburg closed as our deputies conduct the investigation. CenterPoint is also on scene. Of course, we will need to call out fire department later to extricate the child, and also the medical examiner's office will be assuming responsibility over the child's body. So we will expect to have this closed for another 3+ hours.
And so the driver, he was ejected, but he had minor injuries?
He was ejected. He was able to meet with our investigator, so I wasn't able to see him myself, but it's reported that his injuries are not incapacitating.
And was he taken to a hospital?
He's still with our deputy right now, so if he needs medical assistance to be admitted to hospital, we'll definitely make sure he gets transported.
But as of now, he doesn't appear to need immediate medical care.
From what I understand, Baytown EMS was called to the scene already and conducted the initial assessment of the driver, and of course pronounced the child deceased on scene.
So the driver is in an HSO?
The driver right now is with one of our investigators while the investigator conducts the DWI investigation.
And anything else about, so did he claim that somebody pulled out in front of him? Is that what
he claims that someone pulled out of the private driveway in front of him, and that's what caused him to lose control. Of course, we will be looking into the veracity of that statement and trying to find what kind of vehicle committed that action, if any. But we do know right now that he was speeding and that he is impaired, allegedly impaired. So those are definite factors that have contributed to our opinion of what caused the crash. Because likely, if he's not impaired and traveling at the speed limit, the crash would not have happened. And it definitely would not have been ejected out of the vehicle. And
that he wouldn't be, that he could be ejected, not seriously injured, is a small, is obviously not typical.
right, yeah. So we do want to urge our motorists out here to obey traffic laws. Make sure you buckle up. Make sure that if you drink any amount of alcohol, please do not operate a vehicle on public roadways. That contributes to your personal safety and the safety of other motorists on the roadway.
And so nothing really can happen until the ME comes and clears their part of the scene as far as any repairs.
Right now, the scene is at. We want to make sure that it's safe for our crews. So center point's on scene. We've already conducted some preliminary photographs, and DA's office personnel did just arrive. So we want to make sure that they walk the scene and provide their insight into what level of charge based on our investigators' investigation on this gentleman's impairment.
So the first thing that center point will have to do is to cut power to that pole. Is that what the idea is?
We do want to make sure that the pole is stabilized. So their crews are assessing the strength of the pole and what damage occurred, and we do want to make sure that the scene evidence isn't jeopardized just because we want to upright the pole. Right now, everything appears static. There's nothing that's charged that will jeopardize the safety of our deputies. So we appreciate Center Point's help and District 3's help in this investigation.